Everybody, I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, and today I wanted to share this comment that I got the other day where they were saying that they had applied for the Navy Federal Rewards, but ended up not accepting the Rewards and getting approved for the Navy Federal Flagship for 25K. So let me know in the comments, when you apply for credit cards, do you do the pre-qualification? Let me know in the comments, but let's take a look. So I got this comment stating that they had just joined Navy Federal, and I'm assuming that they had did the pre-qualification, but only got pre-qualified for the Rewards, but they didn't take it. And so what they ended up doing, they started a direct deposit and they ended up doing the pledge loan for $1,000. So when they did that, they came back within 3 weeks and ended up doing a pre-qualification again and got pre-qualified for all of the credit cards, including the Navy Federal Flagship, and ended up getting approved for 25,000. And I'm just like, wow. I had made a comment back and I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. Because the main thing is when you pre-qualify for credit cards, let's say you don't get qualified for the one that you want, and then they end up saying, okay, you got pre-qualified for the Rewards. Do you accept it or do you not accept it? And it's okay if you accept it, but on the same hand, if you don't want that credit card, you can decline it. Let me know in the comments, do you pre-qualify for credit cards with Navy Federal, Chase, or even Capital One? And if you have pre-qualified and didn't get qualified for the credit card that you wanted, did you accept the offer that they gave you? Because a couple of months ago, I was really wanting to apply for a Capital One credit card, and I was thinking that I would apply for the Capital One Venture Rewards credit card. And so I ended up doing a pre-qualification because I just wanted to see if I was going to pre-qualify since I didn't have any Capital One credit cards and I did not get approved for the one that I wanted. But y'all, I had went ahead and still applied for the Venture Rewards, and they ended up denying me. And then they approved me. I want to say for the venture card, 3,000. And I didn't accept the offer because it's just like, on the one hand, if it's a card that you don't want, you don't have to accept it. And so I didn't accept it. So I said, decline. I don't want the card. And this is what they did as well. They had did the pre-qualification and only got approved for the Navy Federal Rewards, but they didn't accept it. And so in this video, I really want to talk about 3 things that we want to think about when we are applying for credit cards. And really, you can use this for any credit card company that you apply for credit cards, but especially for Navy Federal. Navy Federal is really all about having that relationship. You want to have that relationship. So the thing is, they had just joined Navy Federal and it sounds like they was not doing any direct deposits, or they were not even depositing money in their account. So with Navy Federal, we want to build that relationship. And the first thing that they started doing, they ended up doing direct deposit and getting a pledge loan. And so that's the main thing, because I can say for myself, when I first joined Navy Federal, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and apply for a credit card and I'm going to get approved for 25,000 because I had applied for the Navy Federal Flagship for my first card, but I was not depositing any money in my savings or my checking account. I didn't have any direct deposit. And while I did get approved, I only got approved for like $6,700. So I feel like you really have to decide, what is it that you want? Do you want to get approved or do you want to get a high limit? And I wanted a high limit, but I didn't go about it the right way. So it's really all about strategy. So the thing is, when you join Navy Federal, maybe it's okay to not just go ahead and hop to apply for the credit cards unless you don't care about having a high limit. But I know that I wanted a high limit, and I know you want high limits too. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer high limits on your credit cards or not? But even though I had went ahead and got approved for the Navy Federal Flagship and with the 6,700 credit limit, what I did, I started doing direct deposit, and which takes me into my next point, getting some of the other products that Navy Federal has. Because in this scenario, they stated that they started doing direct deposit, but then they also did the Navy Federal Pledge Loan. And see, with Navy Federal, they have so many different options. So that's the thing. When you join Navy Federal, they have different credit cards, they have loans. You can do a personal loan or you can do certificates. And especially with the certificates, their rates being so high right now, this is a good time to do it. And so that's what they did. They ended up, so what they ended up getting a pledge loan for 1,000. So it wasn't for a large amount, because most of the time when people get pledge loans, so they'll get it for 1,000 or let's say 2,000, but then they'll end up paying 90% of that pledge loan down. So you're still getting your money back, but then you're building that relationship with Navy Federal. So that's really good. And so the third thing that you want to do, and it's really not in any order, but I would say the third thing that you really want to do, you really want to check your credit report. How does your credit report look? How is your credit utilization and your late payments? Because one, if we want to increase our credit score, we want to have our credit utilization lower, and we want to be 30% or lower, but really 10% or lower. That's going to be the best scenario, because if we have high credit utilization, like 50% and higher, then most of the time credit unions or banks are not going to want to give you more credit because they feel like, okay, you're just trying to over leverage yourself. So that's why it's good to check our credit report to see what's going on. But then also, even if you check your credit and you have a high credit score, it doesn't necessarily mean when you first join Navy Federal that you're going to get high limits, because that's what I was thinking. Because when I had first joined, I was just like, I said I was going to wait, but I couldn't wait. So probably within 3 weeks, I had opened up the Navy Federal Flagship, and I just knew I was going to get a high limit because I had a good credit score, because I know my credit score was over like a 650, probably like a 700, probably over 700. So all my other credit cards had high limits. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to get approved for 25,000. And nope, I only got approved for 6,700. And so that's why it's really about building that relationship. Because if I would have just waited and went ahead and did direct deposit, possibly got some of the other products that Navy Federal offers, and then applied, see, by the time I did that, my Navy Federal internal score was going to be higher. And so the mix of that is what's going to get you a high limit with Navy Federal. And that's what I think that they did, because when they originally joined Navy Federal, they were not depositing any money, and they had only got pre-qualified for the Navy Federal Nrewards by them going ahead and getting the direct deposit. By the time the 3 weeks came, then they ended up doing the pre-qualification and then got approved for 25K. So that's what I'm talking about, because I was just like, wow, that is really amazing that you had got approved for the 25K. And I think overall, really what it's showing is you really have to have a strategy. So it's not about just go ahead and rushing. It's okay to wait. And even if you get pre-qualified for a credit card that you don't want, I mean, you can take it if you want, but if you want something else, it's okay to decline it and go ahead and wait to get what you want and create that strategy. And you can use the strategy for any credit union or bank. But let me know in the comments, what are you thinking? And when you apply for credit cards, do you prefer to get just approved, or do you want high credit limit? Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. Thanks so much for watching. It's not a game, it's a rich thing.